What's going on, gamers? Welcome to Opa's Arcade. Today I'm going to go over my main arcade cabinet that I have inside my little arcade room that I've got set up for my grandkids, which we call Opa's Arcade here. It's a 32-inch Xtension Arcade Cabinet. It's by Recroommasters. This is the arcade cabinet that I chose. Now, there are many arcade cabinets out there. I'm not going to say this is the one you need to get or you have to get or you should get. I do recommend this arcade cabinet, but I recommend that you go ahead and do your own research. Figure out what arcade cabinet's going to fit your personal needs, because this is just the one that fit my personal needs on what I was wanting. So anyway, that being said, today I'm not going to do a review or anything like that on this cabinet because there are many reviews out there. What I'm going to do is just kind of go over some of the things I've done to upgrade this cabinet to make it unique to me. Now, some things you may like, some things you may not like, but this is just to kind of go over the things that I personally like and that I've done. So one of the first things that I went ahead and did is, when I was looking at this cabinet, is I decided on going with the Emulation Plus control board that they offer through Recroommasters. The reason I went with this control board is because of the features that it offers. Some of the features are, of course, it offers the trackball. You have your two 8-way joysticks, one 4-way joystick. You have 6 buttons for each player. The 4-way joystick has 2 buttons. It also offers a spinner, which is one of the reasons I wanted this control deck. And I'm going to go ahead and show a little bit of a close-up to some of these things after I kind of go over what it offers. And you have 2 buttons with that spinner. And then it's also got 10 buttons for automation. So we'll kind of get a little bit closer and I'll show you a little bit of what I'm talking about here. So we'll turn this light on here so that kind of shows the automation buttons. As I said, you have 2 8-way joysticks and 1 4-way joystick. Now, some of you might ask, well, why do you want the 4-way joystick? And I'm sure a lot of you out there know, but for those that don't, there are a lot of games like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Galaga, and things of that nature where, yeah, it'll work with a 8-way, but your controls are going to be a little bit off, especially like Donkey Kong. If you've ever played the original Donkey Kong, you're definitely going to want that 4-way joystick. Or Pac-Man. Pac-Man's another one. You're definitely going to want that 4-way joystick just so you can get that authentic feel to the game itself without actually having the Pac-Man cabinet. Each one does have these 6 buttons on either side for both your player 1 and player 2. As I said, you've got your 2 buttons for your spinner and 2 buttons that go with the 4-way. The one nice thing that I love about this is when you do want to go to your 4-way, it has a little toggle switch right here, which is how you'll turn from your 8-way joystick to your 4-way. You just toggle that. Now, these automation buttons are really good, especially for your front ends like Big Box, which is the front end that I use based on whatever front end you use, whether it's Hyperspin or whatever, to each their own. But these automation buttons here are gonna always get a phone call when you least want it. Anyway, so these automation buttons here are amazing. They also work when you're in your windows. So you have your mouse left, mouse right. The trackball works as a mouse, as you can kind of see. You have a menu button, a pause button, exit button that they offer. Coin 1, coin 2, player 1 start, player 2 start. And then you also have a select. And you have a pause. Now, one thing I really liked about this control deck is because it is the emulation edition, it is designed to run MAME. It's also designed to read as a keyboard. Now, you can change that to where it'll read as 2 separate controllers. So it actually has 3 different settings that you can set this at. I keep this at control at where it's like a keyboard, because a lot of your emulators, that's how it reads your controllers, is as if you're using a keyboard. So anyway, that was one of the reasons I really liked this control deck. And these automation buttons actually worked right out the box. All I had to do was program them to launch box or to Big Box, and they worked fine. Of course, you set them up just like you would any other controller in MAME or any of your other emulators, but pretty much it was plug and play, which I really liked. So one of the next things that I chose to upgrade on my arcade cabinet is I went with a traditional coin door. Now, this is a dual coin door. It is an X Arcade dual coin door from X Gaming. You can get this from xgaming.com. I recommend it. It works outstandingly. I've got it wired in to my control deck, and it comes with keys, so you can access it to get your coins out once you use it. And I use this to get my grandbabies to do chores for me whenever they come over. Coming up, the arcade cabinet, the next thing I want to go over is I have these aim track light guns. I went with the aim tracks because, of course, at the time when I ordered these were pretty much the best ones out there. They work really well. I haven't had really any issue with them, other than normal issues people have. But I have red for your player 1 side, which matches up with my red for player 1. And then, of course, I've got player 2, which is blue and matches up with my player 2 color. The next thing I kind of thought of was whenever you're in your arcade and you want to have a drink or something of that nature, you don't want to have a little table sitting there because it can get knocked over. So I found these cup holders here, or well, should I say my wife found these cup holders. These are actually from Midway Bailey, and we found them on Amazon, and they're awesome. Of course, I've got one for player 1 and one for player 2. They're pretty sturdy, heavy duty. They screw right into the arcade cabinet itself, so they can handle pretty much any kind of drink. And what I really like is it's got this little cutout here. So if you got your coffee mug or something of that nature, it can fit in there. And it's pretty large, so it'll fit any kind of cup. I went ahead and for the marquee, and I'm going to turn the light off here in just a second. Instead of using a traditional marquee where it just stays the one marquee, which of course I got a marquee with this arcade cabinet, I opted to go with the LED marquee from Pixelcade. Now this is a custom LED marquee that they made for me that's designed for this arcade cabinet. They offer all kinds of different ones. They even offer ones for like your arcade 1-ups. If you ever do want to like mod an arcade 1-up. This Pixelcade marquee I like because I wanted something to where whenever you switch your games, especially in your arcade set, I wanted to have that feeling of having that arcade marquee. So pretty much with most, I would say at least 90% of all my arcade games, it has the actual marquee. Now, some of them aren't the actual matched up marquee, but they're close enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up my arcade cabinet just so you can kind of see this Pixelcade LED marquee running. We'll turn the light off real quick. Come over here, and I'm going to go ahead and start my front end up. And as you can see, it says, "Welcome to Opa's Arcade." And you can customize that, which is another reason I like this marquee. And of course, I got a little video that's playing before, but we'll go ahead and skip that. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is we'll go into arcade. I'm going to go into my arcade set. And as you can see, for each game, some of them have where it's got this automation or animation, where it's showing different things, and then it'll actually go to the tapper, as you can see, marquee, which is pretty cool. Double Dragon I know has a pretty cool one, so we can go over here to the D's. Donkey Kong has a pretty cool one. As you can see, the animation that Donkey Kong has. And Donkey Kong 3 has its little animation. Donkey Kong Jr. has its little animation. Not all of them have the animation, but a lot of them do. And like I said, I wanted to have a little bit of a flair with my arcade cabinet, and this kind of really threw some nice flair to it. So, anyway, we'll turn the light back on. One thing that Recroommasters offers is custom artwork, and I went ahead and opted for the custom artwork on the arcade cabinet. They give you options on what you can, request and things of that nature, and this is pretty much what I requested. I wanted kind of Street Fighter, Double Dragon, Donkey Kong, Super Mario Brothers theme. Of course, one thing I really liked that they did is they put the Mario for player 1 and the Luigi for player 2. I specifically requested the background to look like Pac-Man because I wanted to have that old school look to it. And then they incorporated my Opus Arcade, which is really one of the things I really wanted. And they were able to do that. And as you can see over here on the player 2 side, you've got, of course, Pac-Man and Ken from Street Fighter, Luigi, and you got Cubert hiding over there, and it's just really cool. Of course, you got another Double Dragon. You can kind of see with the light from my Star Wars arcade 1-up cabinet over here showing through. Now, one of the things that I did add to this cabinet that unfortunately it doesn't come with, and I went ahead and wrote a review to them, and I recommended that this is something that they could throw in. It's a cheap little thing, but it makes a huge difference. Now, one thing I like about this arcade cabinet is it comes with this little door here. So you've got your keyboard. And this slides out so you can actually use your keyboard. Now, the one thing it doesn't come with is, you see this handle that I've got here. Now, this handle I actually picked up at Walmart. I want to say I paid $6, and it came with 2 handles. It's over in their little warehouse section. But I wanted something because the magnet is pretty solid, and there's not much room for a lip for you to open this once it's closed. So the best way would be to have a handle. So I went ahead and added that on there. That would be my only recommended thing to add to this cabinet. Everything else is pretty just, it comes set and ready to go. The other things I've added are just personal things that I've wanted. The cup holders and the Pixelcade and Marquee and things of that nature. But anyway, so that's kind of everything that I have on my arcade cabinet. Now, one thing like I was saying about these automations is, of course, when I want to exit out, you have your exit button. And we're going to go ahead and exit out of this, and I'm going to show you what my exit thing is on my my Pixelcade Marquee, and we're going to call it a day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was kind of informative. Maybe it gives you some ideas for your cabinet. Maybe it gives you some ideas of the cabinet you're going to want. But anyway, so I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll go ahead and exit out. Take care and happy gaming.